God is sovereign. He owns all things. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. And in a very practical sense, false teachers attack God's sovereignty in our sickness and our suffering. They attack God's sovereignty in our sickness and our suffering. Watch this from Bill Johnson.
And
so it was a different idea. It wasn't like if it's your, Lord, if it's your will.
Oh, no.
So it's not like having that in your prayer or in your thought life, because in your it's like practical theology. Like you approach everybody like the Lord's going to move right now.
Yeah. And I can't pray if it's your will, because for me that's a prayer of unbelief.
I can't pray if it's your will, because for me that's a prayer of unbelief. Never mind that Jesus himself in the garden said, Father, let this cup pass from me, but not my will, but thine be done. I suppose Jesus was praying in unbelief. It's just unreal, the hatred that false teachers have for the God of the Bible. Make no mistake, false teachers hate God. They hate God. The only God they love is the God that they have created out of their own image. They love an idol that they call God, but they hate the God of the Bible. James says this, come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city and spend a year there and engage in business and make a profit. Yet you do not know what your life will be like tomorrow. You're a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that. So who are you going to believe, Bill Johnson? Or the half-brother of Jesus, James, writing under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit of God? Jump ball on that one. Watch this from Andrew Womack.
I mentioned this yesterday, but you need to be absolutely convinced that healing is not optional. It's a part of the atonement of Jesus. Jesus would no more want you to be sick than he wants you to go out and sin. And this is a strong statement, and I know not everybody's where I am, but I'm at a place where I would not get sick any more than I would commit adultery. And some of you, I don't have any control over getting sick. That's the reason you're sick. You don't understand that. Healing has been purchased for you, and if you're sick, it's not God's fault.
If you're sick, it's not God's fault. And of course, if you begin with the premise that it is always God's will to be healed, and a person prays for that healing for days, weeks, months, years, some people for decades, and the healing does not come, then the question must be asked, whose fault is it? And of course, by definition, it cannot be God's fault. So guess what? Guess who's left? It's your fault. It's your fault you're sick. It's your lack of faith. It's your lack of making the right positive confessions. It's your lack of giving. Maybe you haven't sown enough seed to the man of God. Or maybe you're not even saved. That's probably why you're sick. You're not even saved.